Very hot. Caliente. I think there's a full moon in Capricorn coming. Incoming. I think in 2 days. Usually I find myself feeling more creativity in the approaching moon cycle and more energy in it here. But I also find that other people are also out of sorts. Let me Full moon Capricorn, June 21st. Hard work is paying off. Practice self-love. Channel productivity towards goals. Follow your passion. Positive change coming. Celebrate accomplishment. So out there. And then it's Cancer season. Happy birthday, Shales. My little crab cake, bro. I'm so happy to see you on Quora the other day. He's been out there. Oh, I did so well in archery last night. I scored my highest last night, and yeah, I think I'm approaching a year doing this thing. Anyway, I find that I have greater grounding within myself from practicing that. Yeah. I was watching something about, I know people don't like this lady, but I do like J-Lo. I know people say she's a narcissist or whatever's, or a love addict, but who are we to say? But the parallel to that is that in her movie, she played up all those themes into her film. Like, I was a love addict. My mom was a narcissist. I couldn't be by myself. I didn't know how to be by myself. But it's playing out now. It's playing out. I'm like, wait a minute, that's weird. She made a movie about this. From the outside looking in, I find that, like, I would have been distraught. For one, I think Mark Anthony and A-Rod cheated on her, and that's why she jumped. Like, first Ben Affleck leaves her 3 days before. I don't know, the wedding, I think, and then she rushes into being with Mark Anthony, and then I think she was a young guy for a couple of years. I think, and I could only relate to her by my own experience. So love addiction. We're gonna get into it. So out there. Love addiction. That is something my ex-husband thought I suffered from. But before I met my deceased ex-husband, who's been gone now for almost 10 years, is that he taught me this term limerence. It's basically falling in love with the idea of love, like that surge of getting or chasing or whatever's. But in hindsight, I saw that it was possibly him with it, not me, because he was only interested in me when somebody else wanted me. And he gave up putting effort when I was fully dedicated. And I also caught him flirting with women online, probably still having dating profiles. We weren't connected. There was somebody that I kind of had the thing right before I met my ex-husband. And I was kind of trying to escape that thing. And because the guy didn't really give me the time of day, so that's how I ended up going online dating. But before I get into all this, in college, I was a communications major, and I remember my first communications professor, she says, listening to mainstream music is garbage. It always makes you feel like you're not enough. You have to long for love. It's all about love and love gone wrong and unrealistic love. And in hindsight, I do remind myself all the time of that, because when I'm listening to music, sometimes in the archery place, I'm like, especially with these two songs, Jolene, 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 and then you're always on my mind, Willie Nelson, which are lovely songs, but all right, let's get on with it. Love addiction. I wanted to heal from the pain that I felt from the person that I thought I wanted. That's why I got myself. I went online dating. I was like, that's it. I'm doing this thing. And I remember praying to God, like, please, God, like, send me somebody that loves me back. And he did. I mean, it was never easy with Lou. But in the long run, he was my best choice. But the bad thing is that this guy, when he realized that I moved on and I was getting married, he always remembered my milestone dates. Every birthday he would try to like ruin by acting like, oh, look at me, I remember your birthday. Anyway, I did have, like, after 2 years of being married, and my husband not touching me or whatever's, we were living like roommates, I was vulnerable, and I did that thing with him a couple of times, and it was the worst part of my life ever, because my husband knew I was doing it. He didn't care, and he would always say, like, I don't care, you're never gonna leave me for him because I'm better than him. He always said that. And during that time of the affair and my sexless marriage, he had revealed that, like, the reason he didn't give me the time of day was because he had a girlfriend while he was seeing me. And I was like, how is that possible? I feel like I've said the story a while now, but he just basically said, like, his girlfriend didn't arouse any desire, but he loved her. And the parallel of all that was that was what I was living in my marriage. Which led me to research the term Madonna whore complex. I think it was invented by Sigmund Freud. Basically, men are taught to, in some very religious places, men are taught to see women either for the streets, she belongs to the streets, or for the family, which ends up putting women in a very odd position with men if they have that unconscious bias back there. But I think that is also probably influenced by the parents, the father or the mother, do have a lot of influence on the child as to how to pursue romance or romantic relationships or stability. Because back when my parents were growing up, women were taught like you could only, you have to save that for marriage. That's your only bargaining chip. Really? Yeah. Anyway, my parents are divorced. My dad cheated on her for left and right all the time. So I feel like I'm doing the full circle. Okay, so I was talking about JLo. Mark Anthony cheated on her. A-Rod cheated on her. Supposedly she wants to go back to A-Rod now that Ben Affleck dumped her again. But the odd thing is, it's her movie. Like it's the formula is right there. For me personally, when I went through my divorce, because I was sick and tired of, I didn't leave Lou for anybody. I left because of my sanity and safety. I lost trust. And I remember praying again again to God. I am so sorry that I put any man above you. And I'm sorry. Ooh. If I'm not doing the right thing. It was actually, I was waiting for permission. Because I think society makes women feel like, in my opinion, my experience, they make them feel like you're not valuable unless you are latched on to a man, have children, and bond the family, make the family work. It's all your fault. There's a lot of pressure, I think, in my opinion. Also, I think I love romance. I love that beginning stage of a relationship. I love when the affection is freely given. I love, oh man, I love that stage. Ooh, I'm so out there. Let me close this up. I saw something really nice. Saw something really lovely. Prayer. Yeah, here it is. I love this analogy. When God wanted to create fish, he spoke to the sea. When God wanted to create trees, he spoke to the earth. But when God wanted to create man, he turned to himself. Then God said, let us make man in our image and in our likeness. If you take a fish out of water, it will die. And when you remove a tree from soil, it will also die. Likewise, when man is disconnected from God, he dies. God is our natural environment. We were created to live in his presence. We have to be connected to him because it is only in him that life exists. Let us stay connected to God.